Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Repressed Humor Issues. Today, I am Fart Flatula.
And I'm Voldemort, the guy with no nose. Thankfully, with Fart Flatula in the room. And realize we make these up without talking to each other about what we're going to be, and we managed to do that because mine's the guy with no nose, and you're the guy that's farting all over the place.
Yeah, it's fantastic how that worked out. I love
Yes.
it. So I think we've got a topic.
Yeah, well, so before we get into the topics, realize we have to congratulate Taylor Swift on winning her first Super Bowl.
Oh, that was the topic I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
Actually,
well, seeing as she had 0 yards, 0 sacks, 0 touchdowns, but the team could not have done it without her. Very definitely.
I, did you watch much at all?
No, I knew it was going to be a disaster, so I didn't watch. I
So
watched the last drive of San Francisco where they got the field goal, and
oh,
then I watched until it was obvious that Casey was going to get the touchdown.
yeah, I think Taylor Swift must have been playing a shot game with whomever she was next to. For every time the camera put her on the jumbotron, she took a shot. Because, which I think is a hilarious reverse on everyone. Like, oh, I'll take a shot when you show me.
Yeah, well, apparently they had one camera that cameraman's job for the entire game was just have his camera trained on Taylor Swift. So he got to watch none of the Super Bowl while being at the Super Bowl.
I mean, how much can she really do in a given game? Stand there, cheer, take some drinks, chit chat with Travis Kelsey's mom, and that's about it. I don't know.
I'm sure Jason Kelsey was there too.
He was. He was. He.
Anyways, she won her Super Bowl. We can move on now. The NFL's dead to me.
I'm happy as a former Kansas City resident that Kansas City now has 3 Super Bowl victories in 5 years. I've done nothing to help them with that, so I never say we.
Have you ever thought that maybe by doing nothing, you actually did help them?
I think by moving away, I help them.
Yes. So, speaking of helping, I'm pissed off at our listeners again because the website has been down since possibly yesterday and nobody told us.
Yeah,
So those 3 people that frequent our website to not tell us our website wasn't working, that's just not acceptable.
shame.
Oh, you reminded me of the woman saying shame on Princess Buttercup inside of the Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah.
That just came to mind. Don't ask me why I thought of you as an old woman with warts all over her face. But
I guess thank you.
yes, you're welcome.
The other thing, I don't know if you saw this over the weekend. Waste Management Cup. I know I'm not a golf fan. I don't know if you are. I don't think you are.
See, when you first said that, I did not think of golf.
No, me
I
either.
thought that there was a cup going around that people were managing their waste in. I thought we're going back to that. That was not where I wanted to go, but that's
No.
the first thing I thought of.
Well, I mean, fart flatula. I get it. But no, Waste Management Cup in Arizona. So I'm kind of hoping Arizona becomes the next Florida man type situation. But basically, I watched a TikTok of it. That's what kicked it off, of a bartender that was told to stop serving alcohol. And they didn't really give a reason at the time, but then it came out, and I did some research on it to make sure it was legit. Basically, the security guards at the front said, fuck it, didn't check anyone's ticket, and was letting anyone through. And there was people all over the place, wildly wasted. And I kind of substantiated this with a few other TikTok clips from the Waste Management Cup, where a guy was running around getting people's collectible green cups and stacking them as high as he could to make a snake. And he had it like going up 2 stories and stuff like that. So it was utter havoc at this Waste Management Cup, and golf's supposed to be that quiet game that everyone like golf claps to and shit like that. No, this seemed like Arizona threw a party.
Well, first of all, if you're calling it the Waste Management Cup, you get what you get. And second of all, they must have all gone to Trump University of Security because,
Ah,
nobody shows up for his rallies anymore. So they just don't bother checking the tickets because they want to let everybody in they can, anyways. And they just didn't realize, oh, this is going to be bad. My question is, who sits out in the parking lot waiting for the security guards at a golf event to give up?
yeah, I mean that's like tailgating for golf. Is that a thing?
Yeah, but you're not expecting to get in. So how many years in a row have they done this and not gotten in, and this was the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's like obviously there's more to the story that will probably come out because there's something missing here. Like, there's got to be some breakdown. Somebody quit, security walked off completely. I don't know, but either
Somebody
way,
phoned a friend and said, "Hey, you got to get down here. The golf course is completely open." And he
yeah.
called 7,000 of his friends.
Oh,
So,
I don't. That makes me feel sad because I don't have 7,000 friends, but also happy because I don't have 7,000 friends.
yeah, well, put the clown costume back on.
That might just scare more people away.
At your age, yeah. You need to drive around in a van hanging out the window. That 70s van with the
I,
unicorn airbrushed on the side and free candy written over top of it.
All I imagine is that I am some deranged version of Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal or something like that.
You wish you could be as cool as Sweet Tooth.
Did you ever watch that show?
I
I know
never
they.
watched the show. I
Yeah,
played the game. I that as a TV show is just a dumb idea.
yeah, I think it came out on Peacock, if I'm
Yes,
not
it did.
mistaken. Okay, all right. Yeah, I never saw it. It kind of like came and went, and I doubt they even had like decent actors in there and
They
stuff.
had Anthony Mackie was the only
Yeah,
one that I really paid attention to. So.
yeah. The rest of them were like people that you're just like, oh, I know them from that one movie, but I will never be able to tell you which movie. But
And speaking of movies and things that should be redone, we're bringing up a new thing that we're going to do every week. We're taking our top 10 lists, shortening them, making them a smaller segment, but it will be top 5 list of the week. I will fail to add any sound effects around that afterwards, but I decided I was going to try it. This week's list. What?
that was so
So bad?
shitty, so shitty.
I know. That's why I coached it afterwards with I'm just not going to do anything to fix this afterwards because I'm going to forget.
Oh, that was so good. Oh, thank you for that.
So what we've decided is our top 5 list for this week is movie remakes that need to be remade because the first time they did it so badly.
You mind if I start this one off?
You could start this one off.
It's bugged me for a long time because I think it could have been a fantastic movie, but Waterworld.
Yeah, it's the question of did the script wreck Waterworld or did Kevin Costner wreck Waterworld?
Or was it like they threw way too much money into like the production and just forgot everything else? Because like
Yeah.
I don't know, it was impressive the scale that they had done things, but oh god, I had high hopes for that movie, but it was shit.
Yeah. Well, there's another movie out there like that. It's called The Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Which it's one of my dirty pleasure movies. It's horribly done. Matt Damon is horrible in it. Anthony Mackie is horrible in it. Anthony Mackie trend all of a sudden appearing here.
Oh, he's
Um,
trending in this episode.
yeah, but I mean, it was an amazing concept for a movie. I'm not going to wreck it with any spoilers, but it was just brought down by a bunch of really bad actors.
This is something I have to watch now. Wonder if it's on Netflix. Hmm.
Netflix, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So another one, and this is gonna really stir the pot with some people. I still believe the original Mad Max movie needs to be redone. not the movies after the original. Thunderdome was great. Mad Max 2 was great. The furry edition, or whatever you want to call it, was not so great. I know it's Fury. It looks like furry. But the first one just did not age well whatsoever. I'm not
No.
saying put Mel Gibson back into it, but that first Mad Max has to be redone.
Yeah, I actually fully agree with that. It's I actually just tried watching it maybe like 2 years ago. It's rough.
Yeah, when he's walking away after he lights the gas trail on fire, when the villain's car flips over and all that sort of stuff, that was just horribly done.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I understand special effects were what they were back then, but it makes it really look like a C movie now at this point.
And when the woman is pushing the baby carriage across the street, and they cut away, they come back, and you can tell it's a mannequin. I mean, it was just
Oh,
horrible.
it's so good. It's
So
almost like so bad it's good now. But
yeah, it's got to be redone with today's special effects. It would be cool with today's special effects.
the other one that's a very obvious one, and I think it's for everyone. Well, I don't know. Some people aren't as nerdy as us, but Battlefield Earth, because
Yeah,
it was supposed to be a trilogy, and they
uh,
fucked it up so bad.
but that's like Jupiter Rising. I mean, it's just those
Oh,
L. Ron
yeah.
Hubbard type movies. Just that there was too much messaging in it and not enough entertainment.
And John Travolta, not the right choice.
Yeah, I mean, there's some John Travolta movies you couldn't do without him. And I'm not
Yeah,
talking his older stuff. I'm talking like Swordfish and that sort of stuff. Pulp
I
Fiction.
actually quite like Swordfish. I thought
I
that was a decent film.
I thought Hugh Jackman wrecked that movie. It could have been an awful lot better without Hugh Jackman.
Well, I think there's another series that we can both agree on.
Yeah, but we have to get to Guns Akimbo first.
Okay. I see this is with Harry Potter. Well, it is, but
Daniel
Daniel,
Radcliffe.
thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I still owe it to myself to watch this as well.
Yeah, there's that Cards Against Humanity cards. It's one of the white cards if you've ever played it, and it's Daniel Radcliffe's sweet sweet ass. I mean, this is
Jesus.
not that movie. You've never played Cards Against Humanity,
No,
have you?
I've played it a ton, but that's such a terrible card because I
Yes.
can go with so many different black cards.
Yes. So
Wait, have you?
I mean, it was meant to be a spaghetti western. Okay, there's that's what it should have been. It was comical. It was meant to be over the top, but it needed just somebody who can actually act in it. And Daniel Radcliffe will always be Harry Potter. He just does not look right in this. It's not the right fit for him.
But also, I mean, isn't it kind of odd? Like, it's he played an English guy in it, right? Like, he didn't put on an American accent, correct?
To tell you the truth, I don't even remember if he had an accent in that one. He probably
Oh,
didn't, but it's just a bad movie for him.
you know,
Now get to your series that you have problems with.
well, I was gonna say I've seen the trailers for Guns Akimbo. I don't know why I'm spending so much time on this, but it just popped in my head. I bet that movie would have been amazing with Jason Statham.
I'm not a Statham fan. Sorry.
No? Oh,
No. It should have been a
oh.
Terry Crews movie.
Well, then it would have been a comedy.
Oh, well, but it's meant to be funny, so it wouldn't be that far off.
Okay, all right, all right. Okay, now I definitely have to watch this.
My lame claim to fame, Terry Crews probably about 10 years ago sang for the intro for the season for the NFL Fox on Fox Sunday Football, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And I tweeted something to the effect of, please never, ever, ever let Terry Crews sing again before a football game. And he liked it and laughed. That's my lame claim to fame.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. But the other one I want to talk about is Star Wars, but specifically episodes 1, 2, and 3, or the
See,
prequels, however you want to
but
call it.
they don't belong in the list. So we've got the 5 movies on the list. They don't belong on the list because they never should have been made in the first place. I don't know
Never?
how you fix them.
Well, I
Jar
mean, if
Jar
they,
Binks, Jar Jar Binks, the golds, the green C3PO. I mean, we didn't need another C3PO, and there was C3PO in it.
that's true. But I'm just trying to think, like, any of the directors from 7, 8, 9, or Rogue One or anything like that have done those movies better justice than George Lucas's bastardization of them?
I think they need to rewrite the concept of how those movies are. Just they were just it was Star Trek Wesley Crusher syndrome where they just magically find the solve to everything. It just they're horrible. They need to be rewritten. They need to fail to admit. They need to cease to admit that they actually exist. Start over with a completely different series for the prequels.
Yeah, I mean, because like you've read some of the books, right?
Yes,
It's like the stories are great. They're actually solid stories, but the
but
execution of the
perverted
film,
into movie playable BS by George Lucas.
and that was pre-Disney too.
Yep. He
Yeah.
was out there just trying to cash in before he sold out.
Ugh, hell, he cashed in hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean, how old is that guy now? He's got to be up there.
He's about as old as Emperor Palpatine.
Is he Emperor Palpatine?
Uh maybe he goes to bed saying I'm a bad Palpatine every night as he masturbates on his giant piles of money.
Oh my god. Oh, that's an image and a half. Wow.
And now let's move on.
Oh.
So that's our top 5 list for this week.
But
Um
you're not a Jason Statham fan, huh?
no, I'm not. I've watched the Transporters, I've watched
Crank?
um Crank, I watched the Death Race 3000 or whatever it was. I saw him in Fast and Furious. He's the Expendables are probably the worst version of Jason Statham of all.
I think the Expendables are the worst version of every actor in the Expendables.
No, that's as good as Sly Stallone ever got.
No, he's
Oh
good
yeah.
in some of the Rocky movies.
The Rocky movies were so early that he was just learning how to act. He
Uh,
should know how to act now. If
sorry,
you've watched the
Creed. He was good in Creed.
yeah, yeah, the Creed never should have been made. It was a bad movie.
They
I'm
did.
sorry.
They did 3 of them.
I know. I watched the first one and never watched another one afterwards. So. And
But
we do have to talk about who died this week. Sorry, last week.
wait, who died?
Apollo Creed.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yes, he did. He passed
Yeah,
suddenly, apparently too.
because he was not that old. I mean, he
He's in
was
his
like,
70s.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's like mid 70s, but still,
yeah.
that's gone too soon, I think.
Yes, very definitely. And it's going to be interesting to see if they come out with another season of The Mandalorian, what they do.
Yeah, how do they? I guess they can just put him back in a mask.
They bridge it the same way they did with the Oracle in the Matrix movies.
Okay.
Because don't forget, the Oracle became somebody else because the actress that played her died in between 2 and 3. Or,
Yeah.
sorry, 1 and 2.
And wasn't that the case that in Gladiator? I can't remember the character's name. There was one actor that died during the filming of it, and they had to like cut a bunch of the scenes and fill them with something else. I cannot remember that guy's name.
Did
Never
Alec
gonna.
Baldwin shoot him accidentally in the middle of it? Or?
Ooh.
Ooh, too soon?
Ooh. Well, ooh, still in trial. Ooh.
uh, so, I have figured out what my most disgusting habit is. Yes, just complete segue into nowhere here.
Yeah,
So
no. I'm curious.
George Lucas, his habit is just making bad movies.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Okay.
say jerking off onto his piles of money.
Well, I mean, we don't know for sure that he has that problem, but I'm pretty sure he hires somebody to clean it every day.
Oh god.
So, but so my wife and I do this thing, and the worst part is we both have this habit. I'm probably worse than she is at it, but I like my feet to be nice and tender. I like my feet to be soft and supple. So they make these things that you put on your feet and you leave them on for an hour and a half or 2 hours. And
The foot
about
mask?
the foot mask things that about 5 days later, all the skin peels off of your feet. Now,
God.
that's not the disgusting part because there's lots of people that do that. And what you do is you go into the bathtub and you take a pumice stone and you just pull off all the dead skin and it comes off fairly easily. But
Mhm.
we're much more maniacal than that. So I will sit there and start peeling the skin off of my feet. Okay. In the living room while we're sitting watching TV. She does the same thing. We do it in
I
front of each other.
I'm never coming to your house.
there's
Ever.
nothing there's nothing more glorious than when you start peeling and you get a big long strip of skin and it all comes
Ugh.
off at once. Or when you can pick off the skin that is in
Stop.
between your toes. There's
Stop.
just something about that toe
Stop.
skin.
Oh my god.
It's
Oh,
true.
I'm dying. Oh. Oh.
You've never done that? You've never done a chemical peel of any type?
I've done a chemical peel of my face, but not
But
of
that all
my.
happens right away, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
not you're
pretty.
sitting there with flakes of skin coming off for 6 weeks afterwards.
No, no. I mean, I got my sister one for her birthday or Christmas or something like that one time per her request, not something that I thought of on my own. And she was giving me blow by blows of it. Now it's like this is stuff I never wanted to know. Like
Uh,
there are parts of the world that don't need to be brought to light.
well, I'm bringing them to light today because last week, if you remember, Joe decided to tell us that his most horrible habit is shitting in the woods in a bag.
Is that a habit or a kink? I don't know. He's not here now, so we can just say whatever we need to.
I don't know the way that the skin comes off my foot.
This is so bad. Jesus Christ.
So I want to know,
The
and I
fact
did
that
not
you
prep
also
you for this.
you said supple too, which is like supple.
I walk around in bare feet in the house. I don't wear socks in the house. I don't like my socks getting dirty on the bottom. I wear socks inside of shoes. But that means that my feet have to be nice and soft because if they're hard, any hard thing you step on punctures your foot. So there is a reasoning for it. It's just the desire to pull off the big long strip. Well, that's kind of, a little bit out there. I want to know what's your equivalency? And what's going to be funny about this is I did not prep Fart Flatula for this. So he's got to think of something that's not too disgusting, but
What?
this is disgusting enough to tell.
But okay, so a bad habit?
A bad, disgusting habit.
Fuck me. Bad
Fucking
disgusting.
you is a bad, disgusting habit.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, that's where we went with that. No, I okay. Hmm. Uh hmm.
See, again, the calculus
Okay.
going on in his head, before you say it, the calculus going on in his head is he doesn't want to say something that's going to get him ridiculed
Well,
for not being disgusting enough, for trying to
I
cop out on this,
I
but not
like
the real disgusting thing that he does not want anybody to know.
so this one's not like it doesn't personally belong to me, but I do it for my dog.
Oh, God, please say your dog does not kiss you on the mouth.
No, 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 no.
Ugh.
All right, God, I can't believe I'm going to admit this. You're an asshole for this. Um, so
I'm an
my
asshole for a lot of reasons, not just this.
uh,
Clown college boy.
fair, okay. But all right, so my little dog, 16 pounds, he gets pretty significant eye boogers from allergies or whatever. I don't do anything with them, but he can't usually get them out of his eye because they're kind of lodged in there. So I extract them because it impedes part of his vision because they're pretty significant. It's unfortunate. He's on allergy meds and all that. I pull them out, and I like to pull them out slow and long. Um, and
That's what she said.
then I let him eat his own booger.
Oh, oh, oh,
And he just goes,
oh.
it's like a reward.
Oh, oh. I wish
So
I'm kind of glad that I didn't eat before we did this, but kind of sad I didn't eat before this because something would have just came up then, but I'm not going to be able to put anything on top of the bile that's
you,
just rising in my stomach right now.
I'm going to go out on a limb that there's quite a few dog owners that do that.
I mean, I could see if the dog nips it before you get a chance to throw it out, but why would you want to feed your dog eye boogers?
Well, they're his.
No, they're nature's.
In turn, they're his.
Ugh. Now I know why not to come over to your house because your dog might barf up an eye booger.
It's possible. Maybe it's why he like hacks all the time. Huh.
Yes, you're making your dog sicker by letting him eat the infection you pull out of his eyes.
Well, it's not an infection per se. It's just a little bit of a collection.
A collection of what?
Dust.
I don't think that's dust. Keep telling yourself it's dust, but I don't think that's dust.
Dust.
Yes, keep on telling yourself that.
I think it's he doesn't seem to mind it, but I think that's probably my ick. That's probably the thing I do that yeah, I really don't like that I admitted that out loud.
Yeah, I really don't like that I brought up the subject now.
This is your fault.
Oh, I like watching you just go completely backwards in your chair when I told you about toe skin.
Don't use that phrase.
That's gonna be in the title this week.
No, no, come up with something else.
Toe skin boogers.
Oh God.
See, the fun part about this is one of the things that we have to do after every episode is go out to AI and make AI make the icon for the show because we do a different one every week if you didn't notice. And I have no idea what it's going to show up this time. Toe skin boogers is just going to be unbelievable.
Toe skin boogers. I just don't think that's a good thing. No.
Yeah, well, what else do you want to call it?
Toe jam boogers?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Ankle skin boogers. Make it a little bit more remote.
Did you just talk about the ankles being remote?
No, a little bit. Sorry, I didn't mean remote. A little bit more remote from the toe.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I have to ask a question, and this is me pleading a little bit of ignorance. I try not to dabble too much into this realm, but I'm curious. So we know that, and I'm going to take it a little political for a second.
Okay.
We know that Donald Trump is probably going to be the nominee. We'll leave it at that. Let's assume that's the case. I'm confused as to who he can actually leverage for his vice presidential candidate.
Well, so first of all, it has to be somebody that's willing to be hung by the neck by a crowd of his supporters.
But so many of the candidates have actually spoken up against him. Or like the
but you've got Tim Scott and you've got Elena Stefanik and you've got all the sycophants that are just in it for the chance to be the successor to Trump. For all you know, they're hoping the presidential immunity goes to the VP as well, so they can kill the president and become president. Because right now, according to the Supreme Court ruling last week, the president cannot be held accountable without an act of Congress.
What?
They didn't rule. Sorry, in the hearings, what they were
Oh, okay.
suggesting is that there had to be an act of Congress to actually say that somebody violated the 14th Amendment, Section 3, because they don't think an individual state should have the right to say that and have him removed from all the other states for a plethora of reasons that were basically excuses for them not want to deal with the maggots out there. But in doing so, what they've said is basically the only people that can hold the president accountable is Congress. And they've already proven they're not going to do that. So the president is above the law at this point.
Interesting. Huh. Okay. Yeah, because I saw, I think it was a Politico article showing like his top 9 potential running mates, and they even had Nikki Haley in there. That she's probably the best option once she inevitably drops out. And then they even said Vivek Ramaswamy was a good option because he was actually always like a supporter of Trump.
Well, the problem is Nikki's got to go chase after her husband in Egypt now because apparently that's a problem. You didn't hear about that?
Not at
Trump
all.
yesterday or Saturday, I forget which day it was saying something to the effect of they need to go find a search party to find Nikki Haley's husband because he's off in Egypt because he doesn't want to be around her either. This is the woman that lost to none of these candidates. So
I did read this, and the irony is that Melania is nowhere near him
yes, yeah.
at the same exact moment. He just
But,
like completely forgot that she's nowhere to be seen.
but the difference is he's taken away her allowance so he can pay all his criminal fines, and that's why Melania is gone. Nikki Haley, I don't actually know her husband's name, is off somewhere else because he's actually doing his job. There's a difference in this dude.
His actual day job.
Yes.
Yes. Huh. Okay. Yeah, it was just something that popped up on my Instagram feed or something like that, and I was like, this is a great question because he's kind of running everyone off, but everyone
Well,
still
since you
wants to
came
go
up with
alive.
this, though, realize that we're seeing the ultimate in why exactly people run for president when they have no chance of winning. Now, I'm not talking Trump. It scares me that he has a chance of winning, but that's not
Yeah.
who I'm talking about. Nikki Haley was in it because she was a potential. She's lost that ability. She's only in it because she's hoping that he gets convicted of something before the vote and he can no longer be the nominee and she steps in to fill the space.
Oh.
But you have Vivek, you have Dean Phillips, you have Robert Kennedy Jr. I almost called him Robert Downey Jr., the weakest Avenger. You have all of these people that are coming out of the woodwork. Realize the only reason these people are running is because it's profitable to do so. As long as you could stay above 1%, there's all sorts of perks to running a campaign. Donors pay you money to stay in high-end hotels and buy you high-end computer equipment and drive you around and fly you around in first class and private jets and all this sort of stuff, that they have to spend none of their money to do this. And a lot of these people own businesses that they pay their businesses to work with their political action campaigns to be able to make money off of this. Now, Trump is by far the worst at that. He does everything through his own people and profits from it. But it's profitable to run for president even if you stand no chance of winning.
So what you're saying is I have a chance.
Well, I don't know. It depends on if you're going to get rid of that fart flatulence problem that you have.
That's true. If they,
Oh,
oh my God, could
you
you
just
imagine?
hustered forward at that moment. I didn't know if you were trying to do a right cheek sneak or something.
No, no, I could see how that could be construed. But could you imagine I go to run for president and they find this podcast and they're like,
Yes, because this is the worst thing that you've ever done, Clown College Boy.
it's the worst thing that's published.
Speaking of the worst thing that's published, my brother actually told a joke. I'm going to go through this story because it's actually hilarious. He told a joke. We were 20 minutes into what was going to turn into a 9-hour car ride that would then be 3 days where we were going and 9 hours back. He told a joke to what is now his ex-wife. This was not the reason why they split up, but she refused to talk to him for the next 4 days. And it was the most awkward trip we ever took. So I'm in the back seat, they're in the front seat. They're talking back and forth. And my brother says to her, you know, your voice is like masturbating with a cheese grater, slightly pleasurable, but mostly painful. And I'm in the back trying not to laugh because I know the hatred that my ex-sister-in-law was capable of generating when you pissed her off. And we spent 8 hours and 50 minutes, possibly more, in that car driving while the radio was playing and there was no talking whatsoever. Got to where we were, and it was pretty quiet on the way back, too.
I mean, is he still married to her?
No, he's married to somebody else now.
Oh, man.
Actually, he might not have even been married to her at the time, but he did get married to her shortly after.
If it was before and she still went through with a marriage,
they have 2 kids, so they did something together.
Well, okay.
So that's one of the most awkward experiences I've ever had. Okay, and this is from the guy that, well, typing up or running stuff into a cash register in my parents' store, I told somebody instead of it was 542 that it was fag 42 accidentally. I have no idea why that came out of my mouth. It was horrible and it was awkward, but somehow I lived through it. That sitting in that car for all that time was more awkward. What's your most awkward moment?
Ooh.
See, and now again, what he's doing is the calculus in his head of what am I going to say that is funny enough that people are going to want to listen to it, but isn't the full level of depravity that I've been a part of.
Because I've got a lot of kind of similar to you where I was the bystander and I happened to be in the room. I think it was, I don't know, it's a toss up. So they're both kind of divorcey.
Then tell both of them. Both of them.
So one of them, my buddy was at the hospital with his soon to be mother of his child. That's a bad one. That might
come on.
Yeah. Okay. So standing there, we're all like waiting or whatever, and he comes out from the delivery room. You're like, what is it? He was like, she divorced me. And we're like,
okay.
And then the mother-in-law is sitting there and she's like, so it's a girl. That's what she wanted.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when my first child was born, my ex-wife did not take to the pain of giving birth well. So she was refusing to follow the nurse's instructions. And they told me, you've got to get her breathing in a rhythm. She's breathing out of control. So I lean over, I whisper into her ear, babe, you need to breathe a little bit better. They're getting worried you're not breathing properly. She looked up at me, said, what the fuck do you think I'm doing? And punched me in the face.
Oh, shit.
And that's when I was told, okay, you need to go into the waiting room because they figured I was what was triggering her. And did not come back in until my son was born.
Whoa, you got decked in the face on pregnant or birthing day.
And she didn't hit me hard. Where she was, she couldn't hit me hard. But I mean, she told me later that me saying that and me being in an Alice Cooper t-shirt with a black leather jacket with fringes on it and torn, ripped up blue jeans, she just did not want to look at me at that point, and she just hauled off and hit me.
I hope you have a picture of yourself from this time in your life because
It
I'm
will.
having such a hard time imagining all of that.
I'm glad this isn't on video.
You have it?
I have it. Um, but continue on. You had a second story.
Uh yeah, the other one it's kind of similar to the kid one but without the kid. But it's like out at a dinner with I was like third wheeling it, if you will, being the friend. And husband and wife just start fighting with each other and I'm just sitting there. They're sitting across from each other. It's a four topper and I'm just sitting there and they're just fighting. And I'm like, I'm gonna go. And they go, no, you're staying. And for whatever reason, I agreed to that. And I just sat there while they're fighting. And I'm just like eating my soup or whatever the fuck I'd ordered. And they both walked off, divorcing each other mutually. But as they walked away further, they were shouting to each other, no, I'm divorcing you. No, I'm divorcing you. It was a contest to see who wanted to divorce each other harder.
That's an interesting set of, you were there while two people decided they wanted to get divorced.
What one?
Do
I
you
was there
blame
just
yourself?
no. One, I was there to support the birth of a child. Like, how I had no idea that they were having like marital problems, and that also, sorry. Interestingly enough, that husband and wife with the kid are still married today.
Hmm.
So,
Interesting. Well, my youngest daughter, when she was born, um, it was it was interesting for a couple of things. Now, everybody knows when a woman is giving birth, there's like an 80% chance that she's going to shit on the bed. It's just going to happen because they're pushing and they have no control
oh
over it.
yeah, yeah, okay.
Well, my daughter came out and they were cleaning her up and all that sort of stuff. And all of a sudden, the smell pervades the room. And you could tell it was shit. She had shit the bed. It just happens. People have to accept it. But it was the nastiest shit. It was just rancid. And everybody in the room had to endure it. And I started smelling it and I looked back over and I saw something that will haunt me to this day. There's ripping that goes on. And
Oh no.
what I saw was the knitting club to put everything back together. And I saw my daughter's head crown. I saw the turd on the bed afterwards. That's nothing compared to knitting club.
That's why I'm
And
not gonna be a father. This is why I'm
I,
not.
I'm honestly, we decided immediately after that that I was getting fixed, and I am fixed from that moment.
Did you have to ice your widow balls?
Wow. Did you honestly have to say that in a child's voice?
That's so I have a buddy that has a Toyota 4Runner and
How are we getting
I
widow balls from Forerunner?
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna right now. So there's a video going around going, oh, is that your little TRD Pro with your widow ladder on there? Because it's got like the little ladder going up to the anyway, that's where my mind went in this moment.
It shouldn't have, just so you're aware. And on
uh
that note about me icing my widow balls,
Beyonce announced her new album. Is that where you're going to go with that?
yes, because I look like the kind of person that follows Beyonce to find out that what I don't even know a single name of an album that Beyonce has.
Lemonade.
Nope.
Renaissance.
Nope.
Those are the
Can't do
most
it.
two recent ones. They're fantastic. They're fantastic. So,
Oh, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Last ones that I cared about what the name of the album was.
that's not Beyonce.
That's not Beyonce. That's the last time I cared about the name of an album.
Well, okay. Here, wait. I got so I this has got nothing to do with music. Sorry, my brain's in flight mode all over the place. I have a holiday that I can't stand coming up.
Is it on Wednesday?
Yeah, it might be on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It drives me insane because it's like the most manufactured holiday by, I'm assuming Hallmark popularized it. Probably had better meaning back in the day, but now it's like unrealistic expectations on a given day. Why can't we just celebrate people for the whole year, not just like, oh, gotta like get all my shit together and do flowers and chocolates and a dinner at some fancy place on one fucking night.
Yeah. Well, I spent $35 on roses for my wife yesterday. I understand where you're coming from on that. I bought her the permanent roses a couple of years ago, last year, I
Oh.
think. Um, we're going out to dinner and all that sort of stuff. Uh, we're not the we have to slave over each other while buying each other lavish gifts and that sort of stuff.
That's
I
good.
get where you're coming from though. It's one of those things that next we're going to have pre-Christmas gifts, the gift you have to give before Christmas because the gift that you give at Christmas isn't enough.
Yeah, I actually, my family did that. We did St. Nicholas night on the 5th of December, I think.
Oh, okay.
Where you got like one gift from Santa, but it was the same every year.
Was yours a red clown nose by chance?
It just actually it was like one piece of the costume every year.
Yes, that year you got the flower was a good year for you, wasn't it?
Oh.
Realize so Joe hadn't heard the introduction from episode 1, and if you
No,
haven't
no.
heard the introduction from episode 1, it's still a worthy listen. That is comedy gold in Joe's own words. Where all of this clown college boy comes from. If you do anything right in your life after listening to this episode, it's going back and listening to episode 1 to listen to that introduction I wrote for Ryan.
He did love it so much that he texted us both after that. He was like, "Oh my god, that was comedy gold." I have the text, so it's like, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks worth of refinement to get that just perfect.
It was impressive. My writing skills are barely that above a kindergartner, so there's that. It's yeah.
It's all of that Jolt Cola and moon pies.
I was a zebra cakes guy though. Just all zebra cakes. I thought
Nobody liked zebra cakes.
you
What
didn't
the
eat them.
hell?
They were so good, so good. The little
No.
chocolate vanilla outside.
What for all my Canadian people out there, the two packaged caramel things, I think they were called caramellos, that were just the cake with the lard with the caramel poured into it, covered in chocolate, absolutely destroys anything that the US has ever made.
I don't know. That's
I
a
will
good.
have some shipped to you so that you can see how amazing these things are. Just realize you are getting caramel over everything you own.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know. Aside from like poutine, I don't know what Canadian desserts are. Like
Ketchup
what are they?
chips.
What?
Ketchup chips.
What's just chips
Chips
with
with
pet?
ketchup flavoring on them.
Oh, I've had those.
All dress chips. That's ketchup, salt, and vinegar, and sour cream and onion, all on the same chip. Just amazing. We used to have
But
sour cream and bacon chips.
no, so like sweet things. I don't know what sweet things you all have that US doesn't have. Aside
Uh,
from the caramel thing that you just talked about.
yeah, we had better honey buns, but that might have just been from the small town that I'm from. We had amazing honey buns. You put those in the microwave for like 10 seconds, and everything you owned had that frosting all over it. It was so melty. It was perfect.
Why is making a mess all over your house an ideal scenario for every dessert that you've talked about?
I am sending you a box of flakies. You do not understand the definition of a mess until you've tried to eat a flaky without making a mess.
What's a flaky?
It's a very, very thin pastry that has multiple layers of this thinness that just has some jelly and some cream in the middle of it. But you go to bite this, and it's not just pieces of the pastry fall out of your mouth, they fly. They catch air.
So is it like Nature's Bounty, like those hard cereal bars that you crunch into and they just explode in your face?
Think of that, but sweet and like a French pastry.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you that and a thing of caramel, caramellos or whatever they call them. I'll send you that. Aero bars. It's just a regular chocolate bar, but they bubble air through it, and it completely changes the taste.
Why? Why would bubbling air through it change the flavor?
You just have to try it to find out. I
Is
mean,
there?
where I live in Minnesota, there's a place called Little Canada that in Little Canada, like that's a city, small little town
Oh,
inside
okay.
of Minneapolis, well, actually St. Paul side. And they have a store that they just import all of this Canadian food. And it's just amazing what you can get there. Like pepperettes. Oh, I love me some pepperettes. If you're a big beef stick or turkey stick eater, try a pepperette once. Yes, the really hot ones will burn your face off, but they're worth it.
I had an awkward moment of mine that just dawned on me that I feel like I
Oh,
don't know.
we're going back. Well, let's roll back time here so that Captain Clownboy can regale us with a story from 20 minutes ago.
Well, I don't know why. Oh, because you talked about importing foods, and that reminded me of the store here in town that imports all Japanese stuff. But this story takes place in Tokyo. So
Sorry, what?
I I was making I was trying to explain where my mind went to get
The
backwards.
story takes place in Tokyo. I thought you said the
Yes.
store takes place in Tokyo. It's
No,
like
no, 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 no.
there's
The
some
store.
geolocation issues that you just revealed there.
No, the story. So this is gonna make me sound a little pretentious and shitty, and I realize that.
It's going to be what makes you sound pretentious and shitty this minute.
Fair. Okay, so my buddy and I went to Tokyo, and we had this contest. His idea, not mine, but whomever lost had to pay for the bottle of champagne to be had at the Park Hyatt to recreate without kissing the scene from Lost in Translation with Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray. The contest was to download Tinder. We were both single at the time, and see who could get the most matches in the first 3 hours of being there. Well, that's not the awkward part. So I won the challenge, and I won't regale you with how many people. But later that night, we went out to a bar, and it was kind of an American or international person bar, so everyone spoke English pretty well there. And we're standing on the street, and all of a sudden, I see this person just beelining it towards me, and they go, "Are you Ryan?" I'm like, "Yes." Like, "Oh, we matched on Tinder." I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you." You know, that kind of thing. Sit there and do the dull chit chat. And then, not 35, 40 seconds later, another person comes directly at me. "Are you Ryan?" "Yes. We met on Tinder." I'm like, "Oh no. The city's 30 million people, but it's not that big." Not a minute later, a third person comes up. I have three Tinder matches, all competing for my attention in front of me. It was the most awkward situation from that perspective. There's many other awkward things that we can dive into other awkward moments at another time, but that was an awkward time.
So Did you end up in a pile with these women? Uh, well,
Nope.
no. Okay.
No, no.
I was just wondering if you took advantage. Saw how far they were willing to compete. That
No,
last woman standing kind of thing.
no. I mean, like hindsight, I probably should have like it should have been like a roller derby match, just for my love and affection. But no, I don't know why
That's a
roller derby.
competition nobody wins.
Yeah, I don't know why oh, my love and affection. I thought you
There's
meant roller.
multiple ways you could take that.
Well, I was going with roller derby at first, but I realized that's not what you meant.
Yes.
But
So,
yeah, that was an awkward moment. So
so it's completely different, not to do with dating, but the weirdest moment that I had like that was my daughter and I were in the grocery store, and as we're walking out, we had noticed these kids were giggling, and they'd look over at us and giggle a little bit, and it's like we have no idea what's going on. So we walk out, we hear and realize my daughter and I run a TikTok channel that I'm not going to mention here, but they said, "Are you the?" and then the name of our TikTok channel, and I was just I was not listening at the time. I did not expect they were talking to us. And they said it really loudly, and I realized, oh, these people know who we are. Okay. And these are a bunch of 13, 14, 15-year-old boys and girls. And they come over and say, "We're so happy to meet you." And I had not planned on this happening. And my daughter wanted nothing to do with it because she was scared because she didn't know what was going on. And I'm assessing the reality of the fact that my, at that point, 11-year-old daughter and I are standing in a parking lot with a bunch of people screaming our name out because they're so happy to see us. And then we proceeded to not talk about our TikTok channel whatsoever. Basically, say thank you and walk away because nobody had any idea what to say.
I mean, so you've been noticed in public from your popularity of your TikTok channel,
Yes.
and locally too.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
I,
fascinating.
I we're much more visible nowadays than we were before. So
Uh,
it's going to happen again, and we have a plan for what to say. But it was really awkward because they had no idea what to ask us. We had no idea what to say. So we just stood there and looked at each other for a little bit and said, "Okay, bye," and thank you, and walked away.
uh,
And with that, I think we're close to time here, Brian. Ryan. Oh, I almost called you Brian there.
what the
Oh,
fuck?
I know. So, Ryan, aka Fart Flatula, I think it's time for you to say thank you to everybody and get us the hell out of
Man, I'm sure it's not Brian.
here. I'm sorry. That's who's going to be with me here next week.
Derp. But thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of Repressed Humor Issues. You can find us on all the socials. We're streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iHeart, the other ones that pick us up. Thank you for picking us up. Our social media at Repressed Humor Issues on Instagram, Repressed Humor Issues at gmail.com, RHI underscore
Podcast.
podcast on Twitter. Am I forgetting?
And if the site's working because you damn people will tell us that it's not working so I can get it fixed, you can see us at repressedhumorissues.com as well.
Yes. But thank you for tuning in. Thanks for sharing the awkward moments. The movies that definitely need to be remade. Please, somebody do it justice. Remake Waterworld at least.
The toe skin boogers.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. On that note, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Dan.
Stay classy, Casper.
God, it's a Wyoming joke.
Wyoming.
It's a why bother joke.
I've been to Wyoming. I drove through it. Went to the Taco John's headquarters. Got some potato olays.
Okay, there's a Taco John's like a quarter mile away from where I live. I
Oh
feel
shit!
I I feel the exact same amount of pleasure in knowing that it's that close as you should have of going to the head office to get potato olays. It's not that great of food.
But you have it. I don't have that here.
6 pack in a pound, man. 6 pack in a pound.
Oh, I want some potato olays so bad. Oh, just the oil burned in your fingertips a little bit. Mmm,
Yeah, yeah. My wife likes Taco Bell for the Mexican donuts.
Mexican donuts.
Yeah,
I don't think I've had those.
go try them.
Ah,
They're, they're not good. So
well, it's Taco Bell. What do you expect? It's like whatever hit the cutting room floor and raccoon assholes.
it's human Drano. That's really what it is.
Jesus Christ. You went right. Oh, Jesus. That's such a visual.
So many images. So many images.
So many images. Oh my God.